Hello and welcome to our look at Week 2, Series 2 of the 1987 Winfield Cup, proudly brought to you by the Winfield Company. A busy week in Rugby League, starting off on last Wednesday night at Leichhardt Oval, the opener to the 87 National Panasonic Cup. Two of the big guns lined up against each other, Manly Warringah and Canterbury Bankstown. The Bulldogs went into the game without the superstars, Steve Mortimer and Terry Lamb, and they were certainly looking to their forwards to produce a super effort as we join them for the kick-off.
Lyons from dummy half. Talking about another strong player. Cochrane. Gordon playing in his favourite second row. Oh, a terrible pass from Gordon. He should have been burnt at the stake for that one. There was a player in the middle between them. A Canterbury player intercepted it so easily. It was Scott Bennett, and unfortunately he had the great misfortune to put it down, but Gordon had time.
The breeze has started to really come up the last couple of minutes. I would think that would be worth possibly 6 to 8 points in the first two quarters.
Okay, in favour of Canterbury Bankstown. All right, we've got Brokenshire now on the move. He's taken play to within about 15 metres of the Canterbury line. Cochrane, Hasler, Gorton trying to pump it up, running strongly and aggressively, got a shoulder through, tried to get the pass away, couldn't do it. Lyons switches it back to Hasler. Then out to Mitchell Cox, the little grubber kick through. There might be a penalty come out of that. The referee says no. It's well fielded there, just on the goal line by Potter. He's absolutely superb at half-volleying footballs and picking them up on the run. Oh, Gibbs has come in strong on Farah. Knocked him over. The referee says play on, so it's just that he's such a spectacular player. Gibbs, everything he does has a sort of note of controversy about it. Ronson becoming involved on the open side of the ruck. Still no score. We've had about 6.5 minutes play. Vaughton. Oh, strong and hard. Gillespie. What a stop. What a head-on hit. Bucket. 2 balls on the field. Theoretically, the referee should stop the play, but he's going to allow it to proceed. Perhaps he didn't see it. Mark Bugden working at dummy half. That pass appeared to come to him in a forward position. There's some strong, heavy tackling up top, and Gibbs is going to be called out. It's true to say, I think, that Gibbs is going to be a marked man from all and sundry. That, to me, I've got to be honest, didn't look any different to the one that Vaughton copped a couple of minutes ago. Farrell. Is unsuccessful. That is a let-off for Manly Warringah. And so the score is 0-0 after about 9.5 minutes. From the quarter line dropout. Picked up nicely on the half volley by Hagan. Some skill required in that technique in wet conditions. Bugden away to Bennett, the winger. Oh, what a good tackle. Mark Brokenshire coming in with a really crushing tackle on that occasion. There's Lyons down below with Tucks, the man, being put away. Another penalty inside the 5. I won't argue with that one. I think that they probably were offside the ruck before. Farah. Very stocky player, powerfully built, very good attitude to rugby league. Strikes it, he's got that way in the air. It's a beautiful kick, right over the dead ball line as well, and a magnificent start for Canterbury with a goal from directly midfield, about 42 metres out. Cochrane, Oladawi, vastly improved young forward, this fella. Swinging arm there. Referee says play on. Cochrane's not happy with that. Out to Gibbs. Gibbs runs straight and hard. They come on in on the and belt him. There's a little bit of a punch-up going on now as the Manly players running to protect Gibbs. There's Tucks going to be spoken to. Last tackle. Manly's wingers both drop back to cover the kick. It's gone to Bugden. Farah not aiming for the sidelines. Right down the middle of the field. Giving it to Shearer. Shearer's looking for a bit of a gap up the middle, and he does a very good run back to halfway. Exceptionally fast player. Hasler looking out there nicely to O'Connor. O'Connor's through the gap. It's a beautiful run by the incisive dual international, but pegged off with a good tackle. Out to Mitchell Cox, out to Lyons. Lyons stands in a tackle, evades it. Now gets going. Gets a pass away to Daly. Daly goes the only way he knows, straight and hard. And now a Canterbury player's going to be pulled out for an incident in that tackle. The referee, Mick Stone, has seen something. It's a good heel. That's all the use of the ball they're going to get. It's one usage. There's the ball gone loose. And the referee says, well, that's enough of that for the first section. Hasler with a little sprint up the blind side. Oi! Came to a sudden aggressive stop there when Kelly ran into him. Cochrane pretending to, or dummying to kick last tackle. Bronson at dummy half. Out to Mitchell Cox. Up goes the kick. They're all onside. They're coming roaring through. It's beautifully taken by Shearer. Give it to Lyons. And Lyons loses the ball just short of the line. There's a let off for Canterbury. Mitchell Cox. Lyons. There's Williams. Driven backwards well by Kelly. Lyons. Vaughton. Mitchell Cox. Got to pass away. It's picked up by Vaughton. Given out to Davis and he drops it. Oh, wingers. Wingers, wingers, wingers. They should be burnt at the stake when they drop the ball in the clear. One penalty is the difference between the sides at the moment. Gillespie loses the ball. It's been kicked through. It'll be fielded by Hasler. O'Brien comes up with a top line tackle right round the boots. Bronson runs from dummy half. Runs into Donnelly. And O'Brien again involved. Daly. Good step, gets his pass away to Cochrane. Cochrane out to Shearer. Shearer knocks it backwards. Player well. There's a little bit of a dust-up going on here now. Gillespie's the man involved. Lyons is there. They're still trading punches. Somebody will go to the bin after this lot, surely. Surely. Anyway, Gillespie's off and Shearer's off. 10 minutes. So a right hook to the jaw evidently was the start of proceedings, and both of them have been given a little bit of an early mark. The penalties presently are Manly 10, Canterbury 4. There's Donnelly coming straight and hard. They're only about 12 metres out from the Manly line. Bugden out to Alchin, then to Dunn. Dunn to Kelly. Kelly the cut-out pass to Langmack. He's put out there nicely by Mitchell Cox, but couldn't retain the tackle on him. There's only about 4 metres out. Out to Potter. Potter to Dunn. Dunn trying to unload it one-handed. He and Tunks are expert at that. Bugden from dummy half and he's in. Oh, they've opened up like a swinging door. The Manly defence darted to where they thought the ball would go. And of course, Bugden decided that was the moment to throw the dummy. Have a look. The little dummy, we'll see it more widely illustrated from the head-on shot. The breeze just freshening slightly. He's only about 18 metres out and probably 15 metres or 18 metres off centre. He should kick this. He does. So there's a whole new-looking scoreline with 5 minutes to go to half-time. It's Canterbury Bankstown 8, Manly 0. Back come the two sin bin players, Gillespie and Shearer. Lyons is tackled and pushed back by Langmack. Cochrane to Daly. Got a pass away to Cochrane. He's lost the ball. Has the tackle been effective? The referee says no, it hasn't. Got it to Hagan. Hagan's got it to Donnelly. Donnelly out to Hagan. The kick. It could be something for Bennett. It could be. It is. It's a try to Canterbury Bankstown after the bell. For half-time. Would you believe? Would you believe it? A succession of quick hands, and young Donnelly's got to get a lot of credit for that. He didn't believe the game was over. We're looking at the action as they spun it quickly. There he goes, getting the pass away nicely to Hagan. What a beautifully weighted kick that was. Scott Bennett was onside and won the race. The bounce was beautiful. He should run out and buy a lottery ticket after that one. The bounce, well, he couldn't have got a better one had he tried. Oh, yes. Canterbury fans around the ground in what is a reasonable crowd for such an atrocious night. Probably can't believe their luck as he moves in. He struck the ball beautifully. It's a goal! Well, is that running the salt into the wound? So, at the half-time break, Canterbury lead by 14 points to 0, with Manly with a heck of a lot to do. Bugden at dummy half. Look at the charge of the Light Brigade now, with Canterbury tearing their way through the blind side of the ruck there with Tunks as one player. Now here comes Dunn on the blind side. He's made another 8 or 10 metres. They've made 20 metres in 2 rucks. Bugden at dummy half, throws the dummy, looking for his second try. He's tackled only about 3 metres out. The pressure right on Manly now. Alchin, the pass has gone out. Oh, and it's gone to Farah. Has he scored the try? The referee's going to rule a penalty for double movement. Shearer steps, had his last kick charge down. This one's better. At least it's got Potter running for it. Bennett's back there too. Potter sights a little gap and goes right through the middle. Bit of ineffective tackling is linked with Bennett. Bennett's got it to Farah. Another try perhaps coming up. Shearer's run into him and belted him with a shoulder charge right in the chest. Very effective way there. So long as they come off, they look all right. Done. Hard and strong on the open side of the ruck. They've brought it back in short order to the Manly quarter. Kelly's there, turns it back inside to Tunks. Tunks belted down hard. Another broken chair tackle. Meredith, the replacement for Mitchell Cox. Shearer. To Williams. Williams gets it to Ryan. Ryan's going nowhere. Got a pass away. It's taken by Langmack. Should be a try coming up here. Through a dummy. Got a pass back on the inside. Tried to revert. Tried to flick past there. And it was never on. And now Shearer's had the ball either knocked out of his hand or tried to throw a dump pass. And it's been intercepted again. So Manly had but 1 tackle on that occasion. This is arguably the worst display I've seen from the Manly side in National Panasonic football for a donkey's age. They've become a bit of a joke in the forwards with the monotonous regularity with which they lose it. Now Canterbury are joining them. The referee will have to rule on that. There were half a dozen knock-ons on that occasion. That's a sign of frustration, one would think. Vaughton just not going anywhere in the forwards with this defence from Canterbury. Cochrane. Williams gets a high kick up. Potter will take this with ease. No, he takes it badly. Michael O'Connor's got it. Got a pass away. It's taken by Davis. And Davis is in for the try. The first error for the night from Michael Potter. And there you go. You give a guy a rap. The moment you open your mouth, a mistake is made. I said, and I quote, he will take this with ease. He didn't take it with ease. He took it with unease. Looked very bad, actually. Mike O'Connor did a magnificent job with the National Panasonic replay to get the ball away to Stuart Davis, who went over in the corner. Val Cochrane. 1 metre in from the sideline and on the quarter line. Breeze across him from right to left. He'll have to aim outside the right-hand upright. It's a miserable kick. There's no other word for it. Miserable. So, Canterbury 14, Manly 4. Okay, Gillespie on the boil now, gets a pass away to O'Brien. O'Brien's going to score. He does. Wide out. Canterbury are really putting the cleaners through Manly here at Leichhardt Oval. Bit of happy play up the blind side there with Gillespie involved. O'Brien came away with a good run. Took the pass neatly. Jason Orchin does the charge towards the defence. Gets up and plays the ball. Some of the Manly players not attending enough to the action there as Gillespie went through and offloaded a pass nicely across the ruck. Ryan's tackle was too late. Trying to go through the ruck. The Manly backs are starting to run through the forwards or trying to move it that way. They don't think they're getting enough possession out wide. Who's to argue? Shearer to Vaughton. Wrapped up straight away. He had to hurdle a fallen body, so that probably off-put him. Hasler. Cochrane's kick will go to Potter. Oh, it ricochets over his head. It's a skiddy sort of a kick. 2 chases down there. Ryan's one. The pass has gone to O'Brien. He's gone through 2 tackles. 3. He's way upfield. He's towards the halfway line. He's looking for support. He's got it nicely to Hagan. Hagan's outside. Got it to Gillespie. And Gillespie gets it back to Hagan. Oh, yes, I think that was a bit of unselfish football. But they've absolutely strung Manly on the line. That was a horror from a Manly point of view, but brilliant stuff from Canterbury. All started by that little whiz kid, Steve O'Brien, who evaded the tackle of Bronson, the tackle of Ryan, and decided he'd go for a trot up the left. Well, he goes so successfully, he's up towards halfway, throws a dummy, Gets it nicely to Hagan, who pulls it in one-handed. Hagan decides he's got Gillespie on the inside, gives that pass to Gillespie. Gillespie gives it straight back to Hagan, and he goes up the sideline and scores the try. Here he is. He's kicked, attempted 3 from an almost identical position. Struck that, and it's just away to the right, and no goal. So the score remains Canterbury 22, Manly 4.
Well, a great performance by the Canterbury Bankstown forwards in that National Panasonic clash with Manly Warringah. And talking of forwards, John Mooney will certainly be looking for a big performance from his forwards as they make their way last Saturday to Arana Park to take on the Western Suburbs Magpies. They were reinforced by the inclusion of Michael Mosley and Bugden, who were not playing in that first game against Balmain. Whilst the Magpies, well, Steve Goshen would certainly be looking for a big performance in front of the Campbelltown crowd for the first time in 1987 in the Winfield Cup. So Parramatta versus West last Saturday, Arana Park.
They sweep in from the western suburbs of Sydney. West's Magpies.
So there we are, the Western Suburbs team onto the field. A very lively back line, including young Brett Davis having his initial first-grade game, a young man who hails from Nambucca Heads. And there are the forwards, Captain Ian Schubert, after having spent some time in the off-season in Britain, and Les White, a very big man there, the prop forward, and we'll certainly be looking for him to continue his fine form that he showed against Penrith last week. So out come the Parramatta Eels, and after the shellacking that they copped at the hands of Balmain last Sunday night, they'll certainly be looking for an improved performance. And already we've seen changes in the side. One of the most important changes will be Steve Eller's return in the centres. Of course, Jackson has had to fill in for Brett Kenny at 5'8", and in the forwards, as Ian's already pointed out, that front row is back together. Lee Beater, Mosley and Bugden. That's the front row that took the Eels to the grand final victory in 1986. And we're about to see the kick-off. And there it is, and it's Muggleton who puts the ball high in the air. And Western Suburbs are going to get first use of it, and it's Petherbridge who gets it and runs it back towards his own quarter line. And that's where he'll get up and play it. And running it away from dummy half is the newcomer to Western Suburbs this year from Terrigal, Steve McCoy. And taking it up this time is John Bilberger, and he's certainly been a good asset to Western Suburbs in recent years. First kick of the afternoon, it's going to Petherbridge. Sterling trying to rush the kick down, not successful. That's Atkins back on his own quarter line and runs into some trouble. Getting up there very quickly, Brett Gale, and being called out for an over-vigorous tackle will be John Elias. And back chatting, well, that never helped anyone, so that's 2 penalties basically to Parramatta. Parramatta with the ball, and they try a switch move which finishes up now out wide with Atkins. Now it's with Muggleton, and Muggleton's tackled about 38 metres out. This will be a penalty, second tackle. Well, they've been very hard on that all season so far, the referees. The second tackle, well, the extra man coming in. This is the 3rd penalty already going Parramatta's way. Now see, he's getting up to play the ball. The referee's already said let him go and let him play it. Steve Eller, the chance to put the first points on the game. He moves in. There's the kick. It looks pretty good. It's as straight as a die. Parramatta 2, lead Western Suburbs 0. Fella. Bilberger. That's Fella again. Throws the dummy, and that's a silly pass. McCoy's done he almost got the ball back, and now Chalmers has dived on it, and Parramatta have got the ball. Bit of a scuffle on the ground, and the referee's going to rule it's Chalmers' ball. And Schubert's involved in a bit of a fracas with Tony Chalmers. And the referee's going to, I think he's going to say some words to Schubert here. One would think so. Schubert's got 10 in the sin bin. And that's a good decision from the referee, because the pass really was never on the pass that was intended for McCoy. It was a forced pass. McCoy was left again in no man's land. So Bilberger tackle just inside Parramatta's territory, just over the halfway line. And now that's Cogger, and taking it up as Webster. And Webster's got a one-handed away, but it's come off a Parramatta hand, so there's 6 to go. And Geelan's tackled about midway, half and quarter line inside Parramatta's territory. Cogger to Gale, and now that's Davis with it. And Davis trying to get through that gap. Beautifully closed, though. That's a good tackle from Sharp. Now, Fella's got another bad pass away. McCoy's managed to clean it up this time. He's running away from that defence. He's got away from Sharp. Good pass to Gale. Now, Gale back on the inside. They're throwing too many loose passes, Webb, but Cogger's made a good bust. And Cogger's tackled. Only 17 or 18 metres out from Parramatta's line. Bilbinger, he's looking for a runner. He's had to get it out wide to Gale, and it goes to Naden. Naden's pass to Geelan, and Geelan's in! Good football from West. There might have been a suspicion of a forward pass, but the try's awarded, and after some good concerted football, they kept the ball alive. There might have been some loose passes, but they deserved that 4-pointer. Alan Geelan scored in the corner, and Western Suburbs lead Parramatta 4 points to 2. So let's have a look at this replay again. Bilbinger, now you'll see him look back on the inside. There's no one there to throw the pass to. It's been overrun there by Webster. He's got the pass out to Gale. Beautiful pass away to Naden. The little dummy, he just managed to wrong foot Takarangi. That last pass, a suspicion of it being slightly forward, but Geelan gathered it in well. Takarangi drawn in by that dummy from Gale, and I should say from Naden. And Geelan has scored. And last year he scored only 4 tries, but he's opened up this year with 1. Let's go down to Ian and get his thoughts on the try.
Well, initially from the sideline, David, I thought that final pass was forward, but give them the benefit of the doubt.
Those great days of the 60s when they had those magnificent battles with St George's. Fella's got that pass away to Davis. Davis has beaten one. He's thrown the dummy, and back it goes towards Elias. Elias is up over the halfway. Good run from Elias. Good football, Western Suburbs. And some of these Parramatta forwards very slow to get back. Taking it up as White, and the big prop makes another 9 or 10 metres. He's 40 metres out. Make it 35. Wester on the boil at the moment. Cogger, away it goes to Belbinger. Oh, good tackle. That was a good tackle. Mark Laurie, ball and all, and over the top was Bugden. Last tackle against Western Suburbs. The attempted field goal from Naden looks pretty good. I think it's there. It is. One more point. Naden's put it between the sticks. It's 5-2 in favour of the Maggies. Well, this is not dissimilar to the game last Sunday night when Parramatta put the first points on the board, and then Balmain came back and they hit them with everything. And amazingly enough, they ran away with the game. Not that I'm suggesting Western Suburbs are going to do that, but they've certainly hit back after that early setback. 5 points to 2 in favour of the Magpies as White. And White, good run from Les White. He had a huge game against Penrith last week. And the big man's opened up very strongly here this afternoon. That's Cogger. Now it's Gale, and he did well to hold him to that. He's been taken, well, the crowd appealing for the high tackle. We might get a chance to see it again in a moment as Naden puts that ball onto the boot. It's a good-looking kick. It's behind Chalmers. It won't find touch. Chalmers going back. He takes it in the end goal. Only just managed to stay in touch. Now Chalmers versus McCoy. McCoy round the legs and Davis over the top. And Chalmers has tackled only 10 metres out. Jackson with the ball. That crowd appealing for that high tackle a few moments ago. I'm quite certain, as the referee suggested, it was round the shoulders, and it was very accidental. The player was slipping over as Lee Beater was coming in to take the man ball and all. So I don't really think it was an intended head-high tackle, and I'm quite certain, as the referee indicated, it really only hit him round the shoulders anyway. Let's have a look at that tackle again. Here's Lee Beater coming in. Now you notice that Gale has trouble fetching the ball. You see him slip into it. Now here's a chance for West again, and Geelan scored! A fumble from Parramatta, and they're in again. The Magpies, Western Suburbs, lead 9-2. Alan Geelan has scored his second try in only a matter of minutes. Western Suburbs 9, Parramatta 2. Of course, we've got the field goal to add to that score. Now let's have a look at it again. Now there's the ball out to Atkins. Takarangi, who was caught out of position the first try, lost the ball. It's towed through by Gale. Geelan scores the try. Really, Parramatta are making just far too many errors. They've made about 18 errors or something, and have missed 12 tackles. Here's Naden's attempt to add the extras. It looks good off the boot. It's there! Western Suburbs lead Parramatta by 13 points to 2. Is this the premiers from 1986? Well, I said to Ian Hansen before the game, I don't like to say I told you so. I thought that West might start favourites for this match, and certainly they've started off in fine fashion, leading by 11 points to 2. So Western Suburbs with the ball back towards the halfway, and that's Schubert who's tackled. Now Bilbidge taking it up. He's had a strong first half. Remember Mark Levy telling me about Tom Bilbidge last year, saying he was a very underrated footballer. He's certainly so far this afternoon taken the ball up strongly. He's done a great job so far for the Magpies. Cogger, they keep it going through Fowler, and Fowler probing out wide as tackled in tackle number 5. Lee Beater there, and I notice White having a bit of a conversation as Naden goes for a long-range field goal. The ball curling round. He's got another one. What a magnificent field goal. This man can do no wrong. The beautiful dummy to set up the first try. 2 field goals and a pinpoint kick that gained 70 metres with a punt. It's all Western Suburbs. It's 12 points to 2. Have a look at this for a field goal. That's the halfway line just behind him. Never, ever looks like missing. It's been a magnificent performance so far, and they really are sticking to their guns. It's enthusiasm, and they're sticking to whatever Steve Gosham told them to do. And look at this. Again, bad defence from Parramatta, and Wests have got the ball back to the halfway. Now, that's Elias away to Bullbidge. Now it goes out towards Gale. He throws the dummy. He's still going. Gee, they're missing some tackles, Parramatta. As Schubert has the ball now. That's Cogger. He's away from one. Schubert backing up well. Now this is McCoy. McCoy still going down towards the quarter line. Oh, just couldn't get that pass away towards Schubert. Cogger a dummy half, taking it up as Fowler. Back it goes to Cogger. Now it's away from Elias to Bilbidge. Bilbidge can't, well, he was thinking about the pass over the top. Elias has got it back. Elias sends it back to Naden. They're toying with Parramatta. Fowler. And Fowler's tackled midway half and quarter line. Back towards the centre of the field. Inside Parramatta's territory. It's White, a penalty. Well, it's against the marker. As you can see clearly, moving to the side there in the play the ball. Sterling, Jackson. That's Ella again, back on the inside, Takarangi. Trying something different. Those inside backs. Ella from dummy half. He's gathered in good defence around the bootlaces by Elias. And now this is the penalty. Western Suburbs this time. All inside the 5. And so Parramatta get a chance. I'd say that Sterling will probably kick for goal. And he's asking Steve Ella to do so. 12 points to 2 is the score. Ella with the chance to kick for... someone must have said something. He's marched them 10 metres. Now this one's going to be from right in front. Only about 17 metres out. And Bill Harrigan, he's from the Tactical Response Group, isn't he? He's the policeman, the police SWAT officer, I think they call them these days. Ella moves in. There's the kick. There's no mistake. 2 more points to Parramatta. And Western Suburbs have that lead reduced to just 8 points. Western Suburbs leading Parramatta by 12 points to 4. But how's it looking at... Oh, it's half-time, in fact. So, Western Suburbs with an opportunity. They're right on the Parramatta line at the moment. They're about 14 or 15 metres out. Fowler into dummy half. Now that's Cogger. It's with Davis. Back on the inside comes Schubert. Good run from Schubert. Schubert will go close. He's only ankle tapped in desperation. And Atkins did very well. Otherwise, Schubert was in. West's on the boil again. It's with Cogger. Now it's with White. And White charges the line. And he's held up. He's only 4 metres away. Gale in a dummy half. They go the same way. Cogger goes on his own. The gap opens up, but then closes. He's still 3 or 4 metres away. Elias gets it away towards Schubert. He goes on his own, pops the pass up, and Western Suburbs have gone without it. Naden gets it. Naden puts the ball over the line and scores. Try. Put away the glasses. Wests have got this game sewn up. 16-4. And the Premiers have plummeted to the bottom of the competition table. They call it Magpie Magic. It's the mighty Maggies today, and it's Ian Naden's day. Have a look at this again. Schubert very much involved in the initial break that really did split them apart. The ball went out to Gale. He couldn't score the try himself. It went loose. Naden picked up the crumbs, picks it up, reaches out, puts the ball down. That's a 4-pointer, and that just about snuffs out any chance that the Eels had of getting back into it. Good work from Schubert. And even though he didn't get the pass away into the hands of Naden safely, Gale did well to keep the ball alive. Parramatta, though, they've got another chance. It's Sterling who's tackled. He's only about 13 metres out. He's now with Jackson. Jackson stands. Thought about a little pirouette looking for the runner, but decided to continue on the inside. It's Mosley. It's with Sterling. Sterling gets it away to Muggleton. Now the pass, which was going to go out towards Ella, didn't eventuate, and Muggleton bumps off 3, bumps off 4. He's still going. Good, strong run from John Muggleton. Mosley a dummy half, and this what's happened to the ball there. I think Mosley's must have almost juggled that ball on the deck. As Sterling's got a chance out wide, he can't get his pass away. It's been intercepted. Naden up over the quarter line. He hasn't got the speed. He's got Petherbridge on the inside. Petherbridge can't handle it. Stacks on the mill, and Jackson dives on it for Parramatta. Now Leadbeater comes up with it. And it's going to be a scrum for a knock on both ways. But Naden just didn't have the speed to go on with that. And let's have a look at this again. If he'd been able to get his pass away initially, Sterling, it would have been a try to Parramatta. Now Naden's got it. Now Naden hasn't got the speed. Now he starts to slow down here, trying to set up Petherbridge, but the pass isn't a good one. What can West do now? They're only 25 metres away from the Parramatta line. These Parramatta forwards, some of them, especially Bugden and Leadbeater, big men must be starting to feel the heat, as too would be White, as they reverse the play. The blind side, and talking about big men. Look at big Les White charging down the centre. A good work move. Cocker's down in the back play after he sent that beautiful pass away to White. Probably a bit fortunate not to get a penalty that time, Western Suburbs. It goes out towards the second rower in Elias. Away it went out to Naden. Naden throws the ball to McCoy. McCoy back on the inside. He's evaded one, he's evaded two. Good little tiptoeing run. And he's got within 5 metres of the line as Schubert gets it from dummy half. Cogger! It didn't take him long to recover. And he's only 4 metres away from that Parramatta line. From dummy half goes the hooker in Alan Fowler, and he's almost there. Tackle number 5. He's got within a metre or so of the line. Last tackle. Cogger. He's juggled it. It's with Davis. Davis puts the ball onto his boot, and he can't get through to regather the ball, and Muggleton has it for Parramatta. Pressure time for Parramatta. Ian, though, I still can't see them getting back into this game the way this Magpie side's playing at the moment. What do you think?
Forwards win matches, David, and this Magpie 6 are really fired up. Big Les White having a whale of a game, the ex-Panther. Also Ian Schubert having a huge match.
So now we see Parramatta trying to run it out from their own quarter line, and that's Jackson. He's run straight into Elias after he got away from Naden, and then Bilbidger came in over the top. And the 5'8" has to get up and tackle it on tackle number 5, just outside the quarter line. It's with Sterling. Sterling kicking for the open spaces away from Petherbridge, down over the quarter line. McCoy racing back. Here comes Chalmers coming through quickly as the Parramatta winger. McCoy gets it, and Chalmers is up there quickly and swings him into the ground. Good football from Tony Chalmers. He really did chase hard. And now Schubert's long pass out wide finds Goulan. Goulan in a bit of open space. He's evaded one, he's evaded two. He's up to the halfway. Back it goes to Davis. Good ball to Les White. And White's tackled from behind in superb copybook defence by Jackson. Now keeping it going. Now it's Schubert. Schubert to the quarter line. Schubert pass. Finds Petherbridge. Petherbridge can't offload it. Yes, he can. It's with Schubert. Schubert pass over the top to McCoy. McCoy got his pass away. It's loose. It's picked up by Cogger. Cogger's pass to Schubert. And Schubert in. What a try! What a super try! A magnificent Western Suburbs try! Oh, give me this side any day of the week, their way they're playing today. We thought Canterbury and Balmain were impressive last week. If Penrith can beat this side, how good are they? What a super try this is. Look at this, Davis got the pass away. Now Schubert. Now look at Sterling, realising the gap was there, but there was nobody at home on the outside. Now it comes back towards Petherbridge. The movement looked like breaking down. It's gone loose this time, but now it's with Schubert again. Over the top, McCoy. Now he has to prop. He waits. He comes back on the inside. The ball may have come off Chalmers' hands there. It's been gathered up again by Cogger. The ball continuing on to Schubert, who's been in the movement 3 times. Oh, what a try. And there's Steve Goshen. He started to undo the tie a little bit. I don't think he's feeling the heat so much now because this has been a super performance from his players today. And now Parramatta, who really have to be forced into making errors at the moment because they're trying to play this catch-up style football. There's a beautiful take from Davis. He's got Cogger in support. Davis on his own. Go! Davis will go close. And the youngster's only a metre short. His first ever first-grade game, and he's been pulled up that shore of scoring a try. Cogger sends the pass out wide. McCoy must score. They're in again. Lordy, when are they going to declare? I think McCoy might have suffered a cramp in scoring that try. I really thought the youngster from Nambucca Heads was about to go in and score his first ever try in first grade, Brett Davis. He's a man that they say could well finish up being anything. Look at this magnificent piece of juggling. He'll get a job in the Moscow Circus with a performance like that. Looked as if he was going to get there himself. The former Nambucca Heads, boy, look at that. He's only a metre or so short. I'm certain up there on the Nambucca they'll be pretty proud of his performance today. And then look at this good piece of football. Lovely pass from Cogger. He realised that McCoy was standing out there like a shag on a rock, and in he goes. Atkins. Now that's Muggleton. Good tackle. See, despite spending 10 minutes in the sin bin, he's had a huge game today, Ian Schubert. From dummy half comes Ella. And Ella's not going to find a passage down the centre there. We're only midway through the second half. Is going down the centre of the ruck as Glenn Mansfield. Back it goes to Ella, and Ella will score. Parramatta finally register a try. Steve Ella in next to the posts, and it's 26 points to 8. So here we are again. Mansfield makes the break. And Glenn Mansfield gets through the tackle of Bilbinger, probably the only time anyone's got through one of his tackles today, and the one-handed pass finds Steve Ella, forever backing up on the inside, and Steve Ella's in next to the goalposts. And look at this, straight down the centre, the youngster who has a lot of ability, Glenn Mansfield. He might be back in first grade the way some of these forwards have gone today, and Ella ever present. Still about 10 minutes left in the match as Cogger has it. And that kick coming down towards Atkins, back on his own quarter line. Running straight across field though. Gets away from Cogger. Now it's with Sterling. He's got Jackson in support. There's a bit of room out here for the Eels. The ball's gone out to Weller. He's up over the halfway. He's beautifully set up Chalmers. And Chalmers again is half stopped by Schubert. Good lock forward play again before he allowed the backs to come and finish the job off. But they're still going, the Eels. Schubert, I should say Sterling, got his pass away to Mansfield. He ran headlong into the defence of Freeman and he's held up on the west quarter line. Mosley now taking it up and down the centre of the ruck this time is Jeremy Lillis. But all the Western Suburbs players are offside, says the referee. And so the penalty, only about 18 metres out. The quick tap. Now it's Sterling. Sterling running back in amongst the forwards. The flick pass. It's gathered up by Wynn. Wynn out wide. He finds Laurie. And Laurie can't get through. He's only about 9 metres away from the west line. Going from dummy half. Lillis away to Wynn. Wynn almost gets the line. He's tackled there over the top by Elias and underneath by Cogger. Dummy half is Mosley. That's Muggleton. It's swung back. Now taking it ahead is Citry. And he's tackled, still a few metres away from that Western Suburbs line. Into dummy half again is Mosley. That's Sterling. Sterling on the run round. He managed to get the ball on the swivel to Atkins, and Atkins will score. Atkins has scored the try as Sterling did a complete pirouette and flying through on his outside in the end and gathering that ball and scoring the try with a neat step. Graeme Atkins, and Wests had that lead reduced to just 12 points, and now it might be reduced to just 10. Now look at this, the pirouette, and a good little step here from Atkins. He didn't get it all his own way. He still had to obey two would-be defenders, and he scored next to the uprights. The Magpies have it at the moment. That's Schubert. Schubert's offloaded the pass again, and that's Davis with it, the little 5'8". Good tackle right round the bootlaces from Graeme Atkins. Ball's gone from Gale on, it goes to Freeman. Freeman's got to the halfway line. And now taking it up is Craig Ellis. He's bundled into the ground. That's Doug Rawlings out there in number 21 for Western Suburbs as Les White takes it up. He's out of one. He's pushing through Jackson's tackle. He's got a pass away that looked forward. It's gone to Petherbridge. Petherbridge unloads to McCoy. McCoy's done well. McCoy's pass has been charged down. It's gathered up again by Chalmers, and the referee's going to pack a scrum down for the first, the first time that Chalmers was involved when he charged the pass down. He knocked that pass down. Look at Petherbridge. Good work here from McCoy. He got away from one. There's the knock pass. As Chalmers did well, otherwise that could have been another Western Suburbs try. Elias coming off now. They've done a great job, the West Forwards. As Petherbridge puts the ball onto his boot, it's in the end goal. Petherbridge wins the race. That's another Magpie try. Now look at this, the fullback gets the ball from Cogger. No one's at home for Parramatta in the fullback position. The ball into the end goal area and he wins the race. He just beat Jackson, and Petherbridge, the top try scorer last year for Western Suburbs with 12 scores. His first try this season, or is it? I can't remember how many he scored last week. I'm certain he did. And even when you have a look at that, there might have been some dispute whether he or Jackson got to the ball first. So there's Davis's kick, and the youngster's got 2 points, and that'll give him a great lift too, because it doesn't matter what you do in your first grade game, you always remember it fondly, and if you can get some points, it's even more easily remembered. And so Davis gets a conversion goal. It doesn't matter what you get. In years to come, it can be stretched to the try that went 100 metres and converted it himself, but good luck to him.
He's been replaced by number 23, Wayne.
So there's the restart. We're talking about Wayne Lampkin before. He's now on the field as Gerland split them up. Alan Gerland down towards the halfway. He's still going. He's up towards the quarter line. What a run from the winger. He's had a superb match. Cogger to dummy half. Keeps it going. Out wide, it's set now towards Ellis. They've gone without it. And Parramatta have come up with it a few metres out from their own quarter line. Well, what a run from the winger. He's had a day to remember. Atkins with the ball. Lampkin and Freeman doing the defensive work, and Mosley's made a meal of it at dummy half, and the scrum will go down just outside the Parramatta quarter line. They've made almost as many errors, if not more errors, than North did last week, I think, Parramatta today. I don't know whether it's the heat or whether it's because Western Suburbs, just like Canterbury, just played too well, especially in the forwards. Now, West trying it again and knocking the ball on his Petherbridge. Davis towing it through, thinking, well, I might be lucky. He put the ball down just in case. What a win! 32 points to 16. And it's just like being back at Lidcombe for some of these West supporters. The new home has done it again. Western Suburbs home ground has always been Parramatta's graveyard, and Arana Park has started with Magpie magic, 32-16. Look at those youngsters. They'll remember this game for many years to come. And what a performance. Rod Petherbridge and Brett Davis, the youngster, and also Ian Naden, Alan Fowler there. Look at Ian Freeman's smile. It's not hard to tell who the winners are. And what a tremendous performance from the Magpies today. 32 points to 16.
Last season was a good one. The game's on the up and up. This year, it'll be even better. The battle for the Winfield Cup. True, we've lost some giants. They were a credit to the game. But we've also found some young'uns they promise to be the same. That's what the big game's all about. It happens every year. We lose a few of our heroes, but find others who know no fear. We see them give it all they know. We see them give it their best shots. 'Cause whether unknown or famous, you gotta give it all you got. That season was a good one. We saw a big man walking tall. But who will it be this year to collect the greatest prize of all?
Welcome back onto the State Bank big game. Canterbury Bankstown at home at Belmore Sports Ground against the Balmain Tigers. Everyone predicting that this game was virtually going to be decided upon by the clash of the two big packs, arguably the finest in the Winfield Cup in 1987. Canterbury Bankstown still minus their captain and former Australian Test halfback Steve Mortimer, but Terry Lamb, the man at 5'8", back for the Bulldogs, who will be relying upon him for a big kicking game. Balmain, well, Bill Anderson, I know he's very keen to take on Canterbury right up the middle of the rucks. Let's go to Belmore Sports Ground last Sunday, the State Bank big game, the Bulldogs and the Tigers.
The State Bank Big Game presents the Winfield Cup.
Welcome to the second round clash in the Winfield Cup between Canterbury and Balmain from Belmore Sports Ground. Both teams are winners from round one, Canterbury over Norths and Balmain against Parramatta. The Bulldogs lineup today is Potter, Bennett, Farah, Hagan, O'Brien, Lamb, Alchin, Langmack, Dunn, Gillespie, Kelly, Bugden and Tunks, and their coaches Warren Ryan. The Tigers rundown is Jack, Gartner, Gale, Conlon, Davidson, Bevan, Neal, Pearce, Brooks, Surinan, Hemsley, Elias and Clark, and their coach is Bill Anderson. Canterbury come into this match after their powerful Wednesday night cup win over Manly, and for the Tigers after their Winfield Cup win over Premiers Parramatta last weekend. Could this be their day of reckoning? The man in control of our State Bank big game today is Kevin Roberts. Canterbury running from right to left. The kick-off has taken place. Balmain receiving the ball. Graeme Hughes on the sideline. There's a cross breeze blowing. Is it favouring either of the sides?
It's swirling at the present time, just slightly behind Canterbury, but I must admit I was down here for the last 20-25 minutes of the reserve grade clash, and it would seem that the wind is going to favour more so in the first half Balmain.
Okay, so Balmain in possession about 10 metres out from their line. Elias getting a kick in. It balloons up high in the air. Potter will get underneath this. I'm not going to say he's not going to drop it. He let me down last week. Last match dropped one and a try resulted. Hagan running from dummy half, still just reorganising. Canterbury in a bit of a bunch at the moment. You could put an Indian blanket over the pack. There's Kelly. I noticed Brooks playing in a headgear, and I've not seen him play in one before for Balmain, number 9. There's Tucks, a superb tackle from Elias, right round the boot tops, cut his legs away as if they'd been guillotined. There's Terry Lamb, his first touch of the ball for a week or two. And a little bit of a shoulder charge there against Paul Langmack, I think the offender was. After off-the-ball action, you'd call it. The referee, Roberts, was very quick to get involved. He's called up the captain, Tunks. Well, there's the action. It was the pass going, or Lamb running behind one of his own players and the shoulder being put in to stop them coming through. Now Scott Gale, just in the Canterbury half. No trouble finding touch there up on the quarter. Now let's see whether this Balmain pack can do something in the way of taming Canterbury, who've been absolutely marvellous the last two matches they've played in. Brooks, in they swarm. Dunn's the defender. Just inside the quarter. Elias, Hemsley on the charge. I think Balmain will be looking for Benny Elias to do a little scurrying run occasionally from dummy half just to break this defence up. Michael Neal halfway through the gap gets put down nicely there with a boot top tackle. from Gillespie, pumping it out on the right. Elias. Bevan stands up on a tackle, can't get the pass away. There's no gain there. Elias has a bit of a run now, looking for support, got a pass away. Oh, there's a heavy one. Surinam stood his ground and took the pass, but by G took a heavy knock up the top of the chest. Scott Gale's taken out of the action. The ball's gone in goal. It could be a try. The referee says no. There's a penalty instead. The ball lost in goal, but a penalty instead against Canterbury. See the action again. Scott Gale taken out of the play by Terry Lamb. There's the ball that's been knocked forward and lost in goal, so a good bit of refereeing there by Roberts. He was prepared to allow play to proceed until such time as Balmain could come up with a legitimate try. No legitimate try in the offing, a couple of knock-ons, so he's gone for the option of the Lamb interference. Conlon with a kick from 15 metres in from the sideline and about 5 metres inside the quarter. Remember, he had 7 from 7 last week. It's a beautiful looking kick. Oh, it's just crept around the left-hand upright, curved around, having me said it was a beautiful kick. But nonetheless, it opens their score. So Balmain 2, Canterbury 0. That's in. The crowd don't like it. Referee's happy with it. Gartner a dummy half. Away to Bevan. Jack chimes in. Swinging arm there by Hagan, which is probably not gone unnoticed. He may get a chat. Oh, there's a penalty going to come from it anyway. Holding down by Lamb, and he also pointed to Alchin, so he'd seen the swinging arm, which missed. There's the swinging arm coming over the top by Hagan, attempting to sort of give him a forearm jolt while he was wrestling in the tackle. Played 5 metres into Canterbury's half. Now Gale kicks on the first tackle. Downfield it goes. It's a pretty ordinary kick as far as I'm concerned. Scott Bennett taken out of it by Neil, right round the boots. A beautiful tackle from the little redhead. Canterbury being pretty well handled at the moment. 2-0 the score in Balmain's favour. Lamb goes for a sprint up the blind side of the ruck. The crowd, as Canterbury crowds have been doing for a number of years, trying to influence the referee, as do Redfern crowds, as do St George crowds, as do Manly crowds. I think Roberts was probably past the point of being influenced by crowds. Hagan. Out to O'Brien with a bit of room, a bit of side space. He's got round Gartner, but taken down to the halfway line. And it was good cover from Pearce, coming right across. Copybook stuff. Langmack going for the driving grubber kick downfield. It'll go into the in goal, straightened up a bit. And Jack will attempt to bring it out. And Langmack's there. Great kick and chase from the man. Benny Elias. A sprinting run, that takes some of the pressure off his forwards. He didn't make much ground, but he's given them an opportunity to regroup. They're back in their quarter. There's Gartner trying to run through the middle of the ruck. A reasonably successful effort. Elias out to Surinam. Those gigantic legs pumping. He was up there as an observer last week in his uniform. That was on the Wednesday night game, rather. He was out there having a good look. Pearce with a beautiful pass to Gartner. Gartner comes back in play, gets the ball to Elias. Elias ducks and weaves, gets a pass to Pearce. Pearce got the pass away. It's gone to Gale on the ground. Great bit of sustained play by Balmain. There's an overlap out very wide, but they're not going to do that. They're going to take the option for the kick. Up she goes. Clark took his arms away from it. Now he's got it again, but I think it's a handover. Or a knock-on. Well, all the excitement's being generated at the moment by this Canterbury Bankstown side, by this Balmain side, Graeme Hughes.
Well, it's rather interesting. Under the coaching of Frank Stanton, the Balmain tactics, they always used to cause Canterbury trouble out wide. Billy Anderson's got them taking Canterbury on up the middle, whereas Canterbury, when they have found any gaps, it's been the reverse. They're the ones that found the breaks out wide. But this game's going to slow down in the last 15 or 10 minutes before half-time. It really should open up because it's unbelievably hot here on the sideline.
Yes, I'll bet it is. It's not hot up in the commentary position. It's beautiful, and I've got a lovely cold drink, and I take a sip from it occasionally. Scott Bennett coming back infield. This player impressed me very much with Eastern Suburbs last couple of years. I thought he's been a very underrated wing three-quarter, and I thought he was an excellent buy for the Canterbury side to take, and obviously they thought highly of him too. Looking at the results of the last season, in the first round, Balmain 18 defeated Canterbury 12. Second round, Balmain 28 defeated Canterbury 0. But in the all-important semi-final, Canterbury 28 defeated Balmain 16. The penalties taken. And my statistician, Warwick Roberts, tells me that the 4 penalties that Balmain have received have all been for foul play by Canterbury. A little bit of hectic play there by Canterbury, trying to force the pass when it wasn't on. Scott Gale running from dummy half. Balmain up with possession around about the halfway line. 2-0 they lead. We've had about 12 minutes of play. And now we've got... it's Gillespie going to be spoken to, is it? No, Surinen's the man going to be spoken to, and I was wondering when we'd get around to a penalty like this. There's so many players these days lift the knees deliberately high as they come into the tackle. Of course, it's against the rules. And it's taken a long while for a top-line referee to wake to it. I was wondering whether they'd forgotten all about that rule of Graeme Hughes.
Well, there's also another one they can start thinking about too, and that's the case of players, especially forwards, taking the ball up when running with the ball, is using their forearm to fend players off. Too often players in defence are having to wear an elbow in the throat or underneath the jaw.
Yes, indeed. Anyway, we'll see what Kevin Roberts, the most experienced referee in the Sydney Rugby League at the present time. That Balmain forward line was offside at that last ruck, without any question in my view. They were well and truly offside. Well inside what I would have called a 3-yard line. The scrum going down midfield, just outside Balmain's quarter. They lead 2-0 as a result of a penalty goal to Conlon, who's now kicked 8 from 8. Beautiful pass out to Gartner. He's got a bit of side space. Comes inside Gartner, inside Langmack, who was filling in on the wing. Neil pumps it up the blind side to Pearce. Langmack again, right around the legs. Gartner, Neil, Bevan, Clark. Getting some confidence now, young Clark. Elias running from dummy half, gets it away to Neil. Neil out to Brooks. Brooks to Sirinen. Sirinen trying to step his way through. He's done a good job. He's sucked 3 to him to start with. Terry Lamb, the worst for wear. That kick's too far. It's going to Potter on the full. Gale was the kicker. And Potter's brought it beautifully back to halfway. And Balmain in a little bit of disarray at the moment. Tucks one-handed pass away to Alchin. And he scurries like a little rabbit for about 7 or 8 metres before Neil puts him down. Bugden. Away to Gillespie. Benny Elias doing his level best there to rip his right arm off to get that ball out. Kelly on the blind side of the ruck, where Canterbury are very effective. Bugden. There's a penalty against the... well, it has to be Scott Gale, the prime suspect there. He was way in front. Terry Lamb from the quarter line and about 15 metres to the right of the right-hand upright, kicking into a breeze and across it. Strikes that. Well, it's a goal. He kicked 76 goals last year. He's continuing on his merry way. 2-2 at Belmore Oval. And from the kick-off, Potter's received the ball on the full, brought it back to the quarter line. Bevan around the top, Scott Gale around his legs. Brooks around his legs, correction. Just 5 metres outside the quarter. Langmack tries to step. Ran into the brick wall. There's Pearce on the chase, trying to charge down the Farah kick. Jack again has put himself in a bit of no man's land. That ball was always going to fall a bit short of him. Oh, and again, he's got out of jail beautifully with a strong run. Beat a couple of defenders with a side step. Away to Elias. Davidson chimes in. He's well and truly tackled there by Terry Lamb. People that may not be familiar with Terry Lamb would be aware of the fact that he's short in stature, but very, very powerful fella, and by no means is he a player who can be taken lightly. Brooks has skipped his way into the clear. Very clever little kick over the top. It's gone off the foot again. Bennett's back there to field it. So it's the Balmain side, and a penalty going to Brooks for interference there by Potter, the Canterbury Bankstown fullback, according to the referee. See this again. Potter stretching the arm out and bringing Brooks down, so that's going to be a decision that only the man on the spot can make. Potter shakes his head and said, I didn't do anything. Well, believe me, son, the referee is always right, even when he's wrong. Conlon from 5 metres inside the sideline and on the quarter line, trying to make it 8 from 8. The score remains 2-2 here at Belmore Oval. Oh dear. We'll have a look at that again to just get the referee's eye view of it. But that is a very fundamental error. Offside from a quarter line dropout. Now just watch it. If they cross the line or in front of the kicker, well, it was line ball as far as I was concerned, but the referee, who's in the middle of the field and can look both ways, is indicating that they were well and truly in front. He had no hesitation. Graeme Hughes, that's pretty fundamental stuff. You'd kick a 6-year-old up the backside for that.
Crazy stuff. I looked across. Michael Hagan was the man that he was pointing to out wide. He knew he was in the wrong. His head went straight downwards.
OK, Conlon. Will he punish them? Will he cane them for that indiscretion from midfield on the quarter line? He will indeed. So the sideline miss just a few seconds ago has been mitigated against, and now the Balmain side have a 4-2 lead, and Kevin Roberts has got a healthy bit of booing going at the moment. Terry Lamb restarting again, getting his goal-kicking practice from the kickoffs. Pearce is the man to receive it. He gets to the quarter line before going down. Davison, the winger, always there to help the forwards in those situations. He made about an 8-metre gain. Let's have a look at the scrums and penalties. There they are on your screen at the moment as Sirenen comes powerfully through the middle of the ruck and invariably sucks 2 or 3 of them to him. Neil, the cutout pass out to Gale. Gale is wrapped up straight away. Can't get the ball away. That was good tackling there from number 4, Michael Hagan. Again, the kick. Oh, and had an off-break on there. Dutchy Holland couldn't have done as good as that on the Sydney Cricket Ground pitch. The scrum going down just inside the Canterbury quarter. They haven't been able to assert the authority territorially that they've done in previous matches this year, Graeme Hughes.
Here's a great opportunity for them now. Don't be surprised. This is perfect for Balmain. They always like to work the ball. 1, maybe 2 or 3 play the balls towards the centre of the post. Look for either Sirenen or Gary Jack to be used close to the ruck down the blind.
OK, so Gale's got it over the sideline. They're about 12 metres out from the sideline. 3 straight penalties to the Balmain side. On to Neil, out to Bevan. Pearce is standing there. Gale gets a long cutout pass, goes to Davidson. He's up the sideline, comes inside Scott Bennett, stood in the tackled 10 metres out. So they're spreading Canterbury, but not much momentum in the way of downfield motion there. Bevan trying to do a Langmack type of pass there to put a player of his team through. Couldn't pull it off. Neil, away to Clark. They're 10 metres out now, 11. Virtually under the posts. Benny Elias goes for a drop goal. It is successful, so that score has been stretched ever so slightly. And Balmain now lead by 5 points to 2. There's the Elias replay on the State Bank replay. And a handy 1-pointer. Well, the Winfield Cup this year already The upsets coming thick and fast. That unbelievable result yesterday, Graeme Hughes, with the Parramatta side being comprehensively flogged 32-16 by Western Suburbs.
No one could have predicted that. Winfield Cup champions in 1986, but I think the way they played against Balmain, as Canterbury all set to kick off here again, I think Balmain showed that Parramatta have got a hell of a lot of work to do. I wasn't surprised that Western Suburbs could win the game, but the scoreline was remarkable.
Gary Jack brings it back to the quarter, lost the ball, Canterbury in possession. The referee says there was a knock on there. Roberts won't go away. I'm not suggesting any of his rulings are incorrect. Far from it, but he's not going to go away from Belmore Oval, the most popular referee in Sydney, I can tell you. Scrums down, it's out to Alchin. Alchin scurries away on the blind side. They're screeching for a bit of cover over there in the blind too, as Canterbury take it that way. Now Langmack brings it back to the open. He's beaten one defender. They're 12 metres out from the Tigers' line. Bugden. It's done. Bugden again, they'll have to watch him. He throws the dummy and goes. He's done it on that occasion. They didn't open up like the Manly side did. Kelly, Scott Gale was way offside out in the open. Lamb throws the dummy there and goes partly through. And the referee has finally woken to Balmain being way offside. Again, Scott Gale, in my view, was arguably 4 yards offside there. Terry Lamb, 15 metres out from the goal line and about 23 metres in from the sideline, kicking across the breeze. He's had one success from one attempt. Another goal to Terry Lamb, continuing his good form of last year. He's had 2 from 2, 76 he kicked in 1986. The score then, Balmain 5, Canterbury 4. Club for Balmain. Backslammed hard and loses the football. Bugden standing one off the ruck. Takes it over the quarter line. Now Kelly again. Sets himself to use that giant shoulder. Hagan. Gillespie. Surinen's there. All over the top of him, and there's a failure to get away from the tackle player. Surinen being penalised. Langmack really laying down the law there, doing a hell of a lot of talking for a bloke that's not the captain. Tunks is nominally the captain, the named captain. Although that is a fashion that's come into the rugby league game of the last 5 or 6 years, Graham, isn't it? They've got players who are the gear-uppers.
Well, there certainly is in this Canterbury Bankstown side. You pick it, Paul Langmack does all the talking. I remember we tried to interview him after last Wednesday's National Panasonic, and he was literally, his voice was literally gone. He screams at these players trying to call out the shots, especially in the forwards.
Little Alchin on the dummy there, gets a pass away, and it's a good one. I think Potter was on the end of it, the fullback. Tunks on the stride. He's got a bit of room to move. Can he get a pass at the end of it? He gets an inside pass to Hagan, who did very well to touch that and then drop it and catch it again before it hit the ground. Bugden, Kelly. Strong defence from Brooks. Scott Bennett. Done. Pops a pass out to Bennett. Bennett away to Gillespie. He stood on the ground and got his pass away to Potter, the fullback. At least they're keeping the ball alive. Now they can spin it wide. There is an overlap out here, I think. There's Lamb going for the kick through. Gartner will get to this first, and he can't stay in the field of play. That's just unfortunate because of the momentum he had up there. Gary Jack and Terry Lamb, 2 kangaroo tourists having an altercation there. Jack not happy with the Lamb treatment of Gartner on the ground. We're watching the State Bank replay. Gartner had the great misfortune, and that was dangerous. Lamb coming in like that, no question about it. Now Surinen's down, and the reasons were Graeme Hughes.
It's what we were talking about before. You picked about players with their knees, running with their knees high up in tackles. The touch judges got David Gillespie when he was carrying the ball. Surinen was the man that went in to tackle him, and there it is there, the elbow catching him just in the throat area.
Well, he's been sent off. Now that's not a sin binning by the look of it, is it? Did Roberts indicate with fingers 5 or 10 minutes?
I didn't see any of it.
I just saw him point to the grandstand. So as far as I'm aware, and we'll need to be corrected if we're wrong, but I'm going to say that he's been sent from the field for the use of an elbow and a tackle on a player not in possession of the ball, on a touch judge's report. You'll clarify that for us, Graeme, will you?
Well, I've just spoken to the Canterbury trainer who said there was no mention of the sin bin while he was out there on the field.
OK, Gillespie off. Ball's been scooped up there by Langmack. It came off a Balmain player, Bevan, who put it down near the halfway line. Now the Canterbury side on the move now. Kelly got it out there to Farah. It's on to Bennett. Bennett goes up the sideline, kicks ahead. It's a race to the ball. Gardner's going to get there and manages to get it over the sideline. The referee rules no try. He rules it's been grounded or kicked dead by a Canterbury Bankstown player. Now here's the great bit of football by Scott Bennett, who surely is as exciting a winger that's going round in Sydney at the moment. He's always on the move. The chase, the kick. There was the ball knocked on in goal by a Canterbury Bankstown player. He appeared to be over the ball line, the goal line, and then again Scott Bennett failed to ground it. Line drop out. 2 minutes to go to the half-time break. Canterbury now a man shot. Farah trying to field the ball, has it go off his shoulder over the sideline, and that again is the sign of a side just slightly rattled. Just slightly rattled. They've let the strong opposition and the fact that a couple of games they've had, tough games in 5 days, get to them a little bit. He is a non-mistake footballer, Farah. They've still come up with a scrum win against the feed. Potter. Out there to Farah. He goes. Elder Tunks now. He goes streaming up over the halfway line. Bugden, dummy half. The referee not going to rule on that. The crowd giving him the rounds of the kitchen. Out to Dunn. Dunn not standing anywhere near deep enough. And that, I believe, is the half-time break. Now listen to the reception that Kevin Roberts is going to get. And I suggest he's having what I would consider a fairly good game. He's seen some things out there that he didn't like, and he's ruled on them, with the crowd very anti. The scoreline, Balmain 5, Canterbury Bankstown 4. We'll be back after the break with a continuation of the action. There's the scoreline, Balmain 5, Canterbury 4, in a day more suited to surfing than playing Rugby League First Division football. The Winfield Cup getting away to a very wet start last week and a very warm start in the second round. And the statistics of the match so far are very illuminating. The scrums have gone 4-3 in favour of Canterbury as Balmain kick off. The penalties have gone 8-6 in favour of Balmain. The missed tackles 11 to Canterbury, 8 to Balmain. Handling errors 5-all. The kicks in general play 12-6. Balmain 12, Canterbury 6, indicating the closest of the score on the board, which is 5-4. Graeme Hughes, Stephen Folkes with you.
Thanks, Steve. A big clash between the forward packs. Only 1 point in it, and nothing to be given away here at half-time.
No, not much at all. Hopefully this breeze seems to have come up a little bit, so that's to our advantage. But yeah, it's been a fairly tight struggle in the forwards.
It's been amazing that under the coaching of Frank Stanton, Balmain always seemed to take Canterbury on out wide. Today, up the middle, especially the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think they're trying to prove something. You know, they think they've got a fairly big, strong pack, which they have, and they're trying to get a bit of a psychological advantage, I think, early in the season.
And referees showing they're very keen to clap down on any foul play. Cernan hauled out for the use of the knee, and Gillespie off now for the use of a forearm.
Yeah, I thought Dave was a bit stiff, but we'll see on Monday night, I suppose, at the panel. But you know, they're making sure the tackle players being released very quickly, and I suppose it's good for the game.
Okay, thanks for taking time out.
Stephen Folkes there, Kangaroo, and he's come up with a very true statement there that it's good for the game. It's got to be good for the game, and it's got to be very, very strongly hammered by the referees. They've waited a week. There were a lot of nasty incidents last week. A lot, that might be an exaggeration. There were a number of nasty incidents in the matches last week. Some of them should have led to a little bit more than sin bin. The sin bin is not to be used for dirty play. So now this scrum going down 10 yards outside the Canterbury quarter. Alcher defeat it for Canterbury if Bugden can get his head down. But if you think it's hot outside, the temperature in the scrums there would go up about another 15 degrees as they struggle and maul. Out to Canterbury. Lamb, cut out pass, but the referee has ruled that Bevan and Gale were both way offside. Up very, very quickly. The 5'8" and the Balmain centre. So Farrell will get the opportunity to put Canterbury into Balmain's half. Canterbury, of course, playing a man short. Gillespie sent off in the 38th minute of the first half for the use of an elbow in a tackle on a player not in possession of the ball, I think will be the way the charge will read. It was on a touch judge's report. Bugden. Dunn. One-handed pass to Alcher. He's having a very smart game, this little fellow. He's making every post a winner. And on the occasion that Steve Mortimer comes back and is available to play, it won't be any easy job to drop Alcher. Bugden up to Tunks, pursuing the endeavour through the middle of the ruck. 10 metres out, Balmain back standing wide, Canterbury back standing deep. Lamb sights an opening, goes straight ahead, looks back on the inside and intercepted beautifully by Brooks. Took it as clean as a whistle. Oh, and did it need to be taken? That could have been a very nasty moment for Balmain. That could well have been a try at the end of that pass from Lamb. And now a penalty comes up to the Balmain side. Tunks being the man, not marking straight on. According to referee Roberts, he was standing around the right, a ruck of the play the ball. Oh, and another near knock on there. Another near intercept. Referee Roberts having his work cut out at the moment. Some violent body contact going on. That was perilously close to being an intercept, that long cut-out pass. Oh, Conlon really couldn't concentrate on the ball with that hurtling body coming towards him.
Get your back on side, you'll get another penalty.
And there's a penalty to Canterbury, feet up by Benny Elias. Right on the Balmain quarter line, it's a differential. It's a quick tap taken by Bugden. There's no need to kick for the sideline in those situations. Up the blind side they go. It's to Langmack. He's decked about 9 metres out. Done with an awful pass. Beautifully picked up by the wee fella at halfback, Alchen. Bugden, Langmack. Lamb through the gap, but Gale comes at him. Bevan's tackle was ineffective. Gale seemed to be aware of that and be up quickly. There's a pass to Langmack. It's out to Scott Bennett. Bennett comes inside, tries to get a pass away, looks but can't do that. There's a ton of defence there. Benny Elias was over the top. Davidson was there. Bevan was there. There's a grubber kick. If it hits the post, it went very close to it. Oh, the ball's on the ground. And Pearce has to hasten over the dead ball line. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Very close thing. It was a well-weighted kick for a split second. It looked as though it was to hit the upright, and Wayne Pearce took the odds to just belting it over the dead ball line. Balmain working the play back towards their quarter line. Neal. Way to Bevan. Pearce drops the ball. Fallen on by Canterbury. I think it's Tunks who gets up with it. Penalty against Benny Elias. The failure to get away from the tackle player. See it again. On the State Bank replay, that was a critical penalty to concede. The penalties favour the Balmain side, 10-9, and the scrums are 5-all. Lamb is 3 metres short of the quarter, and he's about 24 metres in from the sideline. The breeze is blowing across and with him quite strongly. He'll be aiming at the right-hand upright. He kept a low trajectory, a smart kick that. 2 from 2 for Terry Lamb. The score changes. Canterbury now 6, Balmain 5 in the Winfield Cup match here at Belmore Oval. 6-5, could be a winning lead. Lamb nearly through the defence there. Brooks came at him. Langback picked off nicely, so they've used up a couple down there. They've got within 5 metres or 7 metres of the halfway line. Kelly running as a foil. Bugden does the pirouette and goes about another 2 metres. They're a metre short of the halfway line. Out to Alchin. Got a pass away that looked a bit suspect too. Goes to Potter. He's backslammed hard by Surinan. Bugden, Lamb, the kick downfield. Davidson's going to get to it, is he? Well, he seemed to take a dog's age to make up his mind about that one. That, to me, was just a very slow reflexes on John Davidson's part. Appeared to me, sitting comfortably 60 yards away, that he had the opportunity to go closer to getting that football. I know he didn't want to touch it and put it over the sideline, but anyway, that scrum is in and out. Neil again looks to me to be flirting dangerously with these feeds here. There's one against the feed. Critical one. Alshin goes for a scurry on the open side. Balmain under pressure now. Lamb away to Potter. There's good defence out wide there. And again, rank stupidity by Bevan. Failure to let go of the tackle player is a very, very dumb and costly thing to do. And I think he's been sin-bin for 5 minutes, has he?
10 minutes, in fact, Rex, 10 minutes, because that's the... Paul Bevan is the man that he penalised before. It's his second occasion, 10 minutes in the bin.
Canterbury have had the last 3 straight penalties. This one is a mighty critical one. It's going to put them a couple of points further away. They lead 6-5. The kick is directly in front. And Terry Lamb has kicked 3 from 3. From directly in front, about 20 metres out. Breeze virtually across and behind him. Distance no problem. Moves in. It's another goal. So Terry Lamb renewing his very good form in the goal-kicking department. 4 from 4. And the score now changes to Canterbury 8. Balmain 5. Both sides level now with 12 players. Bevan having been sin-bin for 10 minutes. And recapitulating that Gillespie was sent off 2 minutes from half-time on an alleged elbow to the face or head of a player not in possession of the football. Well, Bennett running across field, but still spreading the Balmain defence there. Hook back. Legitimately, Surinan had men over there. He's had the ball stolen from him by Terry Lamb. And that's a double mistake there by Surinan, because he had support on the outside and he had no reason at all to have the ball stolen from him. And now Neil has stolen the ball from Farah. It's a ration. Astonishing for first-grade footballers to hold the ball so lightly that they can't retain it in a tackle. 3 in the space of 15 seconds. Away to Surinan. Straight through and makes a good game. That's about 8 metres out from the Canterbury line. No tries in this match, but pretty hard combative football. Now it's away to Jack. Pulls it in one-handed. Evades one tackle. Gets it to Neil. Neil's looking for support out to Conlon. Conlon gets it to Gardner. Oh! He's been hit hard and high, but there's going to be a try nonetheless. And there might be something said about the attempted tackle there. We'll see the State Bank replay coming up again. Conlon's pass looked a very long one. It went out there. Terry Lamb was a legitimate tackle. It just looked highly spectacular because he flew through the air, but Lamb hit him high around the chest and shoulder area. We're watching a replay from side on the State Bank replay. There's the switch of play to Jack. He took it in one-handed, and from that point they were able to move the ball out to the right. Neil is there. Got it to Conlon. Conlon got his pass out to an unmarked Gartner. O'Brien's come infield, and Lamb went across in cover. And despite the fact that he was hit very, very hard, Gartner was able to continue his progress towards the line to score the try. Now that's an excellent bit of football by the veteran wing three-quarter. Neil, Conlon's pass, and O'Brien's got to be under a lot of scrutiny there. This is not the first week that he's been off limits and come away from his wing. Gartner did excellently then. Absolutely beautiful football. Conlon 2 goals from 3 attempts to score now 9-8 in Balmain's favour in this fluctuating game. Conlon from the quarter, 10 metres in, strikes it well. It's unsuccessful. So with about perhaps 17 minutes to go, 9-8, still anybody's game. Only about 7 minutes to go before Bevan comes back on for the Balmain side. He was sin bin for 10 minutes for failing to get away from a tackle player. The crowd was announced then. It was muffled. Graeme Hughes, what was it?
Crowd of 15,017.
Good crowd, not great, but good. Balmain in possession just their own side of halfway. This game by no means over. A bit of brilliant football or a bit of rank stupidity can win or lose this game. Potter in possession. Neil comes at him, picks off one leg. Pearce is over the top. Alchin away to Bennett. Always searching for a way to go. He's tackled midway between the Canterbury quarter and halfway. O'Brien. O'Brien's gone walkabout 2 weeks in a row. Graeme, been not on his wing when needed to be.
Unfortunate situations for wingers when they are caught short. There was the overlap there. The cardinal rule is, well, when it occurs, that the winger, if he's going to come in, simple fact is he's got to get his man, and he didn't do it.
Got to finish on the ground with somebody. So he's made himself look a bit suspect in that area, and his defensive lining up there on 2 occasions. Scrum feed to Neil. Goes with the feed. Out to Pearce. Tried to work the blind side, but they're awake to that. Gary Jack evades one tackle, gets a pass away to Neil. Neil offloads at the corner. There's the cutout pass out to Davidson. Davidson goes nicely up the sideline, but there's good, strong defence coming on across in the shape of Farah, who fell very awkwardly. Gale, Neil, Conlon. Bevan back at about, what, 3 minutes, 4 minutes now. There he is coming to the gate. Neil gets it away to Elias and does the run around move and works it with Pearce. There's a got to Conlon. He's got it out there to Gartner. Can Gartner make it 2? He's got up the sideline. There's great defence from young Alchin. Picked him off about 10 metres out. Right round the boots. A player down at the moment, Canterbury. Now Conlon flings it out wide to Gale. Gale goes for the long cutout part. Gets it to Davidson. Davidson flings it to Gale. He's flinged it to Neil. Neil holds the ball. Statue of Liberty play. Goes ahead. Gets it to Sirinen. Sirinen's got the ball down and Bennett's fallen on it. So Canterbury momentarily off the hook. Like a game of touch football there for a few moments. Player injured. Wants attention. Canterbury trainer on the field. It is Scott Bennett, and he is probably totally exhausted after his involvement in the last 10 minutes. This is a passage of that play. The ball was flung around like a hot potato. Davidson stands in the tackle. Gale offloads an awkward one, which Neil had to go backwards for. He shows it in one hand, then elects to run. Evades one tackle. Gets his pass away to Sirinen. Sirinen gets a pass away before he hits the ground, and at that point, Bennett reasserted his superiority and came up with possession. Canterbury. About 11 minutes to go, trailing 9 points to 8. Bugden, Alchin, Dunn. Very effective tackle there. Pearce, the tackler. He's got through a mountain of work. Here's Bevan on the sideline now. That will immediately stiffen up Balmain a little bit, giving them the overlap. Hagan. Hemsley intercepts the pass, does well one-handed. Pearce has come up with 21 tackles so far, but all his tackles are effective ones. People just don't get up from them. Surinan stands on the tackle. Gets it out to Pearce. Pearce looks for his winger, Gardner. Gardner getting an absolute mountain of ball out the right today. Benny Elias tries to duck his way through. Gets a one-handed pass away to Gardner. Gardner again involved. He's not handled the ball so much in many games. He didn't have a marker there, but I suspect he didn't have the wind to go ahead. Bevan steps. Lamb tries to pull the ball out of his hands, and the referee had obviously called ill. Lamb has the last say by the opening of the mouth and the yelling out of the word that he didn't want the referee to hear. Bevan, as we mentioned, is back on the field for Balmain. Conlon has had two successful from 5, so it's been a very ordinary day in the goal-kicking department after 7 from 7 last week. He's directly in front. The breezes from left to right across him. He'll have to aim it at the left-hand upright. Strikes it hard. It's successful. So Balmain, with 9 minutes to go, just go a little bit more comfortably in front. They now lead by 11 points to 8. And away they go with Farah driving it deep. Russell Gardner takes it, and it's been deduced as a knock-on. Russell's having something to say. What forces? He's been around long enough to know what the whistle means. Come on, Russell. So he's arguing with the referee. The decision's made. He took it a bit casually, but in fairness, that's his first error of the day. 11 points to 8. Canterbury desperately needs some possession. They're playing a man short. It's in and out, but it's a Balmain penalty. And Alchin being picked off for a very crooked feed, according to the referee. Some signs of frustration now, Graeme Hughes, coming into the Canterbury methodology.
I think it cost them the last 2 points. There were still 10 and 11 minutes left on the clock when they came up with a mistake. Ross Conlon kicked the 2 points. They should have been sticking to the kicking game. It was working for them. They were making Balmain come up with the errors well inside their own quarter line. They felt, because of the fact they hadn't had the ball for about 5 minutes, they became frustrated, and they're desperately looking for the try. It's forced into the situation now as we go into, 7 and only 8 minutes to go. That's what it's got to be. They've got to try and throw the ball out wide.
All right, so Balmain, conversely, have got the game in their grasp if they can play solid mistake-free football. Use the sideline on the right-hand side of the field so that the wind will help them pen it in there. Hardwick gets, not Hardwick, that's Hemsley, gets the pass away there to Gary Jack, who was trailing him through the ruck. Benny Elias onto Surinan. A mighty gap appeared in the ruck on the Canterbury side. A mighty hole yawned wide, and he ran straight through it. Elias now getting a little bit of help from that run, makes a good sprint and takes play up towards the quarter line where he loses the ball. And that is not the sort of football that's required. They've done everything right. He threw the dummy, Dunn took it. And then trying to get a bad pass away, one of those flash passes that wasn't needed at that stage. It's just not on. Little Alchin onto Terry Lamb. I thought he had the opportunity there with 3 men on the outside of him to move the ball. Instead, he took the tackle. Potter. Hagan. At 15 metres from the halfway line. Out to Tunks. Tunks offloads a nicely weighted pass to Farah, who slips and falls as he makes the step. Trying to go through Pearce's tackle. Here's Pearce again with Kelly. Langmack. Bugden. Oh, and Pearce has come in from the side there and belted Bugden with a tackle that made his teeth rattle, and he hasn't moved since. It was totally legitimate and worth a look if we get the opportunity. An excellent bit of football there from Pearce. He measured him and just belted him. And the other part of the tackle was over the top was nothing, but let me tell you, that one down below from Pearce, that was a bone rattler. Surinan. starting to find gaps in the Canterbury defence, as you'd expect, with one man short. Out to Scott Gale. Lobs the pass out to Davidson. Davidson up the sideline. He knows he hasn't got the pace on Bennett. He really needs to come back on the inside and stay away from that sideline. And again, Balmain come up with a good run. A good sort of gain into Canterbury territory and lose the ball at the end of it. So both sides playing a little bit out of character. Yes, Graeme Hughes.
Eddie Muller out there in 25. Bugden's the man that's left the field. I thought replacements would have certainly been out there well before this, maybe even to both sides. Billy Anderson had them warming up in the tunnel, but he seemed to hold off when that try was scored by Balmain, although Kevin Hardwick is moving to the bench now in 21. He'll be going on, I believe, for Paul Sirinen.
So Canterbury now with Farrer on the ball, gets a pass back into Hagan. Hagan's upfield, looking for a one-handed pass, but there was plenty of defence. Pearce was there yet again. Pearce comes across and cover now as Potter weaves it out to Bennett. And out she goes there to Alchin, who's caught round the collar. Up they go the blind side. It's got out to Langmack and he turns it back on the inside. They're tackled right at the halfway line. Balmain hanging grimly to this 11-8 lead as Canterbury try through the backs now to move it a little bit wider. They've got to start taking risks with about 6 minutes to go. Tucks right through the middle of the ruck. He's still going. The pass is knocked down. It's fallen on by Muller. He scoops it up, gets it to Alchin out to... Oh, and it's been put out by Langmack. It came there from Michael Hagan out to Langmack. The pass, I think, was always going to be ruled forward anyway. But oh dear, did a golden opportunity to win the game with that point come from this great Tucks run we're seeing on the State Bank replay. There it was, scooped up well by Muller, given away to Hagan. Hagan looks for support. He's got support, and it went too far in front of Langmack, although not all that far, it must be said. The handling was suspect, and I thought the referee was always going to rule it a forward pass anyway. Balmain off the hook. Action aplenty here at Belmore in front of a 15,000 crowd. They've only seen one try today, but by heavens, they've seen some very action-packed football with mistakes starting to come well and truly into the game now. Kevin Hardwick. And Balmain desperately, some of the players so weary they can barely get to their feet. Hemsley takes it within 10 metres of the halfway line. We're into that last 5 minutes now, Graeme Hughes. And I, like you, am surprised that they haven't used more replacements in these enervating conditions. I would have thought that would have been absolutely necessary with Balmain, with Canterbury particularly playing a man short.
Well, the forwards have come up with a huge performance. I guess the Canterbury camp, if they do go down, are going to claim somewhat of a moral victory today. But when you look through the quality of replacements, the likes of Sandy Campbell, Chris Mortimer, Pat Jarvis, all sitting there and fresh at this stage. I guess I was probably thinking that maybe in the last 15 minutes that they would have been utilised, certainly when they were saying to search for points out wide.
The penalty going to Canterbury Bankstown. Farrer's taken the kick. It's brought it back to the quarter line. Now the last gasp, perhaps, for Canterbury. They will certainly have earned their victory if they get a try, which is going to be what's required to get up and win this game. The penalties are 12-all in the match. Gone out to Farrer. Farrer gets a pass away. The pass is on the ground. Langmack scoops it up one-handed. Gets it back on the inside. It's gone to Dunn. Dunn trying to weave his way through the middle with sheer strength and power. And he's done that 10 metres, although held. Muller. Oh, beautifully slipped past there by Tucks. Got it away to Langmack, then to Lamb. They're still about 8 metres out. There's Muller packing him on the backside and saying, let's have it. And then Alchin comes up with an unforced error that brings groans of anguish from the Canterbury Bankstown fans. We can only put the very hot conditions and these situation here, the pressure that both sides are under for the pretty horrendous error that the rate they've had in the last 15 minutes. Scrums have gone 8-all. The penalties after that last one are now Balmain 13, Canterbury 12. Scott Gale kicking for touch. It's a pretty ordinary kick. He's not happy with it. There's only a gain of about 7 metres there. There's Hardwick going straight and hard, as only this lightweight replacement forward knows how to do. Benny Elias onto Clark, who's been a solid, highly professional worker. There's the hooter, and there's the result. And it's a win to Balmain by 11 points to 8. And the crowd really sorting out Mr. Kevin Roberts with their boos. Nonetheless, it is a win and 2 competition points in the Winfield Cup to the Balmain Tigers. There are the scorers. Gardner, the sole try of the match. Conlon, 3 goals. Elias, a field goal for the Canterbury side. Terry Lamb scored all their points, and they were full.
Last season was a good one. The game's on the up and up. This year, it'll be even better. The battle for the Winfield Cup. True, we've lost some giants. They were a credit to the game. But we've also found some young'uns. They promise to be the same. That's what the big game's all about. It happens every year. We lose a few of our heroes, but find others who know no fear. We see them give it all they know. We see them give it their best shot. 'Cause whether unknown or famous, you gotta give it all you got. That season was a good one. We saw a big man walking tall. But who will it be this year to collect the greatest prize of all?
The upset's certainly continuing in Series 2 of the 87 Winfield Cup. Let's now check all the highlights of the other games.
At Henson Park last night, Illawarra was short-handed after just a couple of minutes. Greg Mackey got an early shower for a high tackle on Hugh McGahn. Illawarra coach Brian Smith was upset at sin bin decisions, including this tackle by Tessman. Despite being down a player, Illawarra trailed 2-0 at the break before Portlock accepted the ball in a clever switch to score. Perry Haddock put the Steelers within 2 points of East when he zipped away from the scrum base to score near the post. The scores were locked at 8-all following a penalty when Illawarra had a chance of scoring from a charge down, but Steve Worthington fails to ground the ball after a valiant chase. Then, with just a few minutes remaining, Wayne Chalice pounces for the winning try. Ground control will have to tighten at Henson Park following this charge onto the field by spectators when the siren sounded. Play wasn't over, a penalty had been awarded to Illawarra and the field had to be cleared.
New boy Wally Fullerton-Smith broke the South defence in the first 5 minutes of Saints' clash with Souths at Redfern Oval. Centre Mick Beattie was on the spot to crash over, and it was 4-0 to the Dragons. Souths were unlucky not to reply just 10 minutes later when centre three-quarter Maven skirted the touchline with a brilliant run, only to be bundled into touch by the St George cover. A Craig Young field goal saw the Dragons go to the break, leading by 7 points to 4. Just after half-time, Young put big Graeme Wynn through the gap with a gem of a pass. Wynn sprinted upfield before finding centre Brian Johnston at support to cap off a great St George try. Minutes later, Souths were reduced to 12 men when Les Davidson was marched by referee Mick Stone for an alleged head-high tackle on replacement player Wilfred Williams. After Burgess made an incisive break, Wynn ran like a teenager before beautifully drawing the defence to put DeJura under the post, and it was 17-4 to the rampaging Dragons. Phil Blake then showed a clean pair of heels for South's first try, flashing over in the corner. Souths continued their second half rally with Webb forcing his way over in the corner, but it was all too late. St George up at Redfern by 17 points to 12.
At Brookvale Oval, Manly scored the first try after a good run from Martin Meredith. From dummy half, Mal Cochran kicked across field, Brad Izzard fumbled and Dale Shearer was there to take the opportunity. With the ball travelling along the back line, Manly extended their lead 15 minutes later. Darryl Williams did well in offloading back to Shearer, who in turn threw the final pass for David Ronson. As Williams moved downfield 5 minutes later, the Panthers' defence was shot to pieces. He kicked and Shearer regained, giving Manly a handsome 20-0 lead at half-time. Penrith scored first in the second half. Then Manly was reduced to 12 men after Ron Gibbs was sent off for an alleged forearm to the head of an opposing player. Despite being one man short, the Eagles continued to fly with 4 more tries. This one a fine solo effort by Mal Cochran. Final score, Manly 42, Penrith 18.
At Endeavour Field, Cronulla and North Sydney were trying to notch up their first win of the season. 17 minutes into the match, the Bears drew first blood with Nigel Tate going over for the try. With an unsuccessful attempt, Norths led 4-0. But Cronulla quickly responded with three-quarter Glenn Coleman racing away with a spectacular 60-metre try. And with the conversion, Cronulla led 6 points to 4. With a penalty to each side, Cronulla led 8-6 at half-time. And that score looked like carrying through to the hooter until Craig Diamond bulldozed over the Bears' defence minutes from full time. The final score, Cronulla defeating North Sydney 12 points to 6.
Let's now check all the weekend results. Plenty of upsets in Series 2, as I said. Eastern Suburbs 14 over Illawarra 8. West 32, Parramatta 16, and the Premiers in plenty of trouble. Cronulla 12, North Sydney 6. Manly Warringah a staggering 42-18 victory over Penrith. Balmain in a close one, 11-8 over Canterbury. St George 17, South Sydney 12. And of course the Winfield Cup Premiership table, Balmain, Canberra, East all on 4. Manly, St George 3, Canterbury, Illawarra, West, Cronulla, Penrith 2 points. North, South and Parramatta is yet to get on the board. And next weekend's games look like this. North Sydney versus Eastern Suburbs. The Steelers going against the Raiders. West versus Manly. Penrith up against Canterbury. Balmain and South. St George and Cronulla, and Parramatta an all-important bye for the Eels. Well, as I say, plenty of upsets, and they look as though they're going to continue in 87 in what is going to be a very, very tight Winfield Cup. Hope you've enjoyed all the action. Look forward to your company next week. Until then, I'm Graeme Hughes. Goodbye for now.